Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Before we jump into the video, I am barefaced and many days after you're probably seeing a lot of the footage. It's catch-up week or catch-up 2 weeks. I haven't edited my footage yet. I have a lot of videos filmed that I haven't touched. So we're going to do all of the updates that I have filmed and not put up and just give you all of the updates for all of the projects. That way you have like a couple weeks or maybe a week of binge content of all of my progress in my projects slash my haul, empties, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of videos. So just stay tuned. And now we're just going to jump into my actual footage that I filmed in a time ago. I'll see you soon. It has been a hot minute since I have filmed. I'm not gonna lie, I took maybe like 2 weeks off of YouTube. I had a vacation planned. I had some time that I did not plan, that I didn't come back and check in. Things were crazy with work. Don't really want to get into that right now. And then Bandit is officially 8 weeks post-op, so we have an appointment today. Today is May 11th. I am planning on filming, editing, getting this uploaded today. This is my year-long Project Pan update. This I need to update because, man, I am late. I usually film these like very beginning of the month and we're already almost halfway through. And then I need to film my pan those eyeshadows. I need to film some empties because boy, oh boy, do I have so much trash. I digress. We are here to talk about my year-long Project Pan. So I was heavily inspired / I just grabbed the idea from the Roulette Pan collab, which was Rebecca Morgan and Alexi Shostin's brainchild little panning project where there's a list of prompts. You randomly select a prompt and then you pick an item to go along with that prompt. So it's a very unique and prompt driven style of Project Pan, and I love prompt based projects on my channel. I keep saying it. I love prompt based projects, but neither here nor there. I have a really exciting update. I was kind of waiting to film this update to roll something out, and I finally had my last use today. So I am going to talk about items in order of how they appeared in this project. I've also upgraded and I imported everything into the Tiny Decisions app, all of the prompts. So there's not going to be like the pretty random and then I go find the prompt. It's all just going to be in Tiny Decisions. So it's going to be completely randomized that way. Let's talk about the items that have been in, starting with what has been in the longest, which is going to be this guy here. There's no spoilers because it's in a package, but this is my e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick. This is from the Mint Melt collection that I want to say was from 2021. It's whenever we first moved into this house. But I made some steady progress on this. My goal with this is to finish. This is for the prompt a pastel shade, and this is my favorite color ever. Anything like this kind of range in the blue-green family, perfection to me. So my goal with this is to finish it, and I ended up using this 10 times this month for a total of 26 times in the project so far. And this is how much we have left today. I cannot click this up any further. That is all the product that I have left. You will see a picture over here of the usage that I've actually made in this item. This I stinking love as an eyeshadow base. I think it works really, really well, especially because it gives me an excuse to wear my favorite color. So I'm making some steady progress on this. I used it 10 times, but that was only 1/10 of a gram. So I have a long way to go with this. I've definitely slowed my use down on this. March was my month of greens, and April was kind of my month of playing with any pastel-y kind of shade that I wanted to. So this took a little bit of a seat on the back burner, but I am reaching for it more often as of recently. So I can see myself making more progress on this. Next product in the project was something for the prompt, something that doesn't suit me. And for that, I ended up picking a skincare product that I just don't know, and I still don't know if I really give a hoot about it, and that's this. This is the Ordinary Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. I just don't care about this product. most of the ordinary serums that I've tried just leave my skin feeling tacky, like it's a sticky product. So we can see that I made a ton of progress that first month that it was in. So between March and April, I made an entire gigantic jump. And then I dramatically pumped the brakes on this product, where I was using like a full like squeeze of it every time I was using it back in March through April. I'm now only using like a couple drops. So this is going to take a while. It's not something I really enjoy or care to use either. And actually, I feel like maybe I mismarked it. I'm actually I'm further down than I am. So I think that I'm actually a little further down. I will remark this. It's not that much down, but I'll remark this to what it actually is. But I just don't know still if I like this. I thought today maybe I could use it as like mix it in with my primer. So I applied my SPF. I applied this like lightly tapping on top of it and then like to help my primer. And I just don't think it really did anything still. So I don't know. I still haven't decided. Part of me just wants to finish this up so I can count it as an empty. Because I'm like, at this point, there's not that much left in it, but I really just, I don't know how I feel about it. So the next prompt on my list was something I'm drawn to, but rarely reach for or rarely wear. And again, it was something in this kind of color. This color dominates my life in so many avenues of my life. So this color is absolutely my favorite. So I knew I had to pick something in this pastel minty kind of shade. So what I ended up doing was rolling in an eyeshadow to complement my shadow stick in a shade of mint green. So I had the Kristen Lee Cosmetics single shadow in the shade Enlightened Mint. It's from their like Mean Green collection. So I had this really cool toned silver reflect mint in this project. I rolled it in a couple months ago. We were weighing 3 grams back in March with some but very minimal usage in it. Back in April, I definitely had a dip going, but nothing super sizable. And then this month, I am so happy to report that I ended up hitting pan in this shade. I did not have to reach for it that many more times. I reached for this 5 more times within the month and hit that pan. I hope you can see it. It's really reflective. So hopefully you can see the pan. It is there. I promise you that it's there. Maybe if you can't see it, I'll include a picture. But if you can, I won't. But I ended up hitting pan in that shade. After 5 more uses, it was only another 1/10 of a gram. But those are those 2 shades, like the shadow stick with that Kristen Lee shade. Like this went so well together. That is a base. The next prompt on my list was something overrated. And I took us back to early 2010 YouTube era where MAC Blue Brown was it. And I feel like blue brown pigments are still like it for people, but for me, I have a really hard time with blue browns. I don't know. I think maybe some of them are just too deeply based for me, but I really have enjoyed this since it's been in this project at least. So I rolled this in with the goal to only reach for it 10 times. There's no way I'm going to finish a MAC, even a mini MAC pigment pot like this. It's just, I don't know if you can hear that. Car is so loud. To me, it's just such an overrated product. I bought this at the hype of all of that, like when this first like hit YouTube back in like I feel like the early 2010s. So I got suckered into the hype and like then rarely ever reached for it because it was just so dark on my lids. But now, oh, well, okay, lid, goodbye. I absolutely love this. I am wearing it on my lower lash line today. I also have been really enjoying wearing it, like kind of bridging the gap between like a minty shade and then my like brown or reds. This works really well to like bridge the gap of that because it has such a warm red based brown as the base pigment to it. So that has been really, really enjoyable. I did not think that I was going to enjoy that as much as I have been. So I'm actually really happy that I ended up rolling this in the project. My goal was to reach for it 10 times. I ended up reaching for it today as the 14th use. So I'm super excited about that, but there has been absolutely zero weight change. So this thing is going to last me forever. The next product in my list was something for your Hogwarts house color, and I ended up rolling in this beautiful peach lip oil from Ulta. If you don't know, I am a Hufflepuff, and our colors are black and gold, or black and yellow. So I ended up rolling this lip oil that was like yellow. It's called the Peach Lip Oil by Ulta. I got it as a gift with purchase when I made a purchase a couple months ago. And I'm happy to report that my dog ate it. So I was looking for this, and Josh found this on the ground. Bandit had a nice little snacky snack out of this. This was a tiny, tiny little lip oil sample, and I had the majority of this gone. So I am a little annoyed at myself that this happened. He doesn't ever chew like random things that he's not supposed to chew. So this was kind of like a freak incident. I think he was just extra bored since he's had his surgery. I digress again, but this is going to be rolling out because there's nothing I could do about this at this point. So thank you, Bandit, for helping me pan that product. The next item in my project was for the prompt, a single eyeshadow. And of course I picked a single eyeshadow for that. But I picked one that wasn't necessarily like a magnetic single like this guy was. I picked one that was like a little compact single. So this is my MBA Cosmetics single in the shade Glow for it. It's a chromescent eyeshadow, so it's like their duochrome, multi-chrome kind of things. I have it on my lid today, topped with Fluoresce from Clionadh to make it even more shifty. But anyway, reason I rolled this into the project is because I never, ever, ever want to reach for it, because this, no matter how many times I repress it, no matter if I put more binder in it, because I do have, I'm going to shake the camera real quick. Sorry, guys. Eyeshadow formula is unbelievably soft and crumbly. So I will look at this too aggressively and it will shatter. I repressed this between updates when we rolled it in last time to now. I repressed it maybe a week or two ago with pressing medium, because this is the TKB trading pressing medium. You can use this to make loose shadows into press shadows, that kind of thing. You have to use a very specific amount. Anyway, I repressed it using some alcohol in that mixture to make this a more stable press, and I pressed it about a week ago and had it sitting in my drawer, and I opened and closed my drawer maybe 3 times after repressing it, and I opened it up one day and it was shattered again, and I had absolutely never touched it since the repress. So this is an unbelievably crumbly formula, and it actually makes me so frustrated to use it because it literally gets everywhere. So this is an incredibly beautiful shade. It's what I'm wearing on my eyelids right now. I will, oh my gosh, make a mess because I want to swatch this. It just gets everywhere. It's so... Alright, so I have a big old swatch of it on my hand right here. If I blend it like that, it makes a beautiful, just like highlighty shade, which is how I found out I really enjoy using it. So I do have it on my cheeks as well as my eyelid today, and I think it looks absolutely stunning. I think this is going to be my favorite cheek highlight when I wear mint shadows, because this has a little bit of a pink to it, so it doesn't look completely ridiculous as a highlight, at least on my skin tone. So to me, I don't think that looks ridiculous and like I'm wearing a green highlight, but it is ever so lightly green, but I think it's beautiful. So I actually ended up reaching for this for the 10th time today, and I'm unbelievably excited to roll this out because, again, this is very frustrating to work with. So I have my Tiny Decisions app up on my phone already. So I have 4 items that we get to roll in, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to just click the wheel a couple times. There's so many prompts in here that it just chugs along, and I just have faith that it went around the whole thing, you know? So this is something that you're looking forward to using frequently. Oh my gosh, that is such a good prompt. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so the second one that we're going to roll in is going to be, oh man, this literally is taking forever to chug along. A product you bought because of YouTube. So many products could be in there. All right, then the third prompt we're going to be rolling in. Something you're afraid to pan. Fabulous. Oh, man. And then the absolute last prompt we're going to be rolling into this project. Ooh, an indie makeup product. I'm excited about this. Okay, perfect. I am going to go ahead and pick these items out, and I will be back with you in a moment. I wish I could say that that was a really easy process for me, but that took me an extremely long amount of time to think of products. Namely, one, because I was going in order, and I was stuck on the first one because I actually have something different in mind, but I can't find it anywhere. For the first prompt was something that I'm looking forward to. I am kind of going a little bit of a different approach with my mindset on this. I'm not necessarily looking forward to it because I love the product, but I'm looking forward to it because I was looking at this the other day and there's so little product left in it, so I'm looking forward to finishing it. So that's what I'm going with. I am going with this here. This is the Terry Mueller fragrance in Alien. This is like, you either love it or hate it. I really like it. It's a very powdery scent. I actually like this as a layering when I have too sweet of scents. Like I have the Givenchy Irresistible fragrance. That one is so unbelievably sweet. That paired with this, to me, it really tames it down. So I really like this. I am at that green line, or just above the A where it says Alien down there. Or like right at the area where it says Alien down there. So I'm going to try to finish this. I love this perfume so much. It's definitely, again, it's definitely when you either love it or hate it. There is like no in between with this. I like it. And I bought it in September of 2020, so it's about time that this gets used up. Man, Ripley, you want to come up here? Okay, come on. The next prompt that we ended up selecting was something YouTube made you buy. And man, that is like a large portion of my collection. Maybe anymore, it should be people that come into work and tell me something's trending on TikTok, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta try it now. Occasionally. I sometimes fall into the hype and want the product. Most of the time I'm not. But this was definitely something that I wanted because of YouTube, and I've been making really great progress on it. It was in this project. I think it was in this project at the very beginning of the year. I'm not 100% sure. But that's this guy here. This is my Hourglass Ambient Light Volume 1 palette, and I actually ended up finishing a couple of the shades. I ended up finishing this one this past week, actually, but I have two of the shades gone. I am really just going to roll in this guy. This is Radiant Light in the palette. It is what I'm wearing as like my bronzer today. If I have a self-tan, I can use that as a setting powder, but it's a little too orangey for me, so I've been using it as like kind of just setting this area where I have my cream bronzer on typically, and it works really beautifully for that. And I've made a really substantial amount of progress already. My mirror is filthy. We can see where I use my brush, but I have a humongous pan in that, so I would like to just see myself finish this up. The next prompt on my list was something that I'm afraid to pan, and I'm nervous about this. So I am notoriously bad about panning hair care products. Namely, I'm just bad about tracking it. So I'm hoping a visible usage goal is going to be a lot easier in this circumstance than me tracking like number of uses. I'm going to bring in this guy here. This is the Bumble and Bumble thickening spray. I don't like this that much, but I've made a really good amount of progress with even just like not liking it. So I am down here below halfway. I really actually want to finish this up. I did get through Gratis. I did get another like thickening kind of hair volumizer spray thing, and I have a couple of hair volumizers already. I have this one, and then I have a foam. This I like to just spray on the roots when I'm doing like a nice blowout. So this works really well, but I wouldn't repurchase it, I don't think. For the next prompt, it was an indie brand, and I have a vastly limited categories where indie is in my collection. it's mostly eyeshadows. So I am going to roll in an eyeshadow palette that I really haven't given much attention to since I bought it, and it came into my collection in January, and I have used maybe one shade in this. Have I even used one shade? I've used one shade in this ever. I've swatched them, and I've used one shade once. So I would love, love, love. This is the, I'm going to butcher this name, the 𝙍𝙚𝙘𝙚. This is the 𝙍𝙚𝙘𝙚, I don't know, by Adept Cosmetics. This is absolutely stunning, and I do think that like spring, summer is going to be the best time to use it. I think the thing that throws me off is the outer packaging makes this palette look really deep and grungy to me, but when I look at it in like the sunlight, the colors themselves look so bright and inviting and just beautiful. So I'm hoping that I just want to no pan left behind. I just want to touch every single shade in this palette, which really shouldn't be that difficult to do. However, I'm also panning a lot of shimmers in my other, like in my project pans. So I'm just a little nervous that this is going to be, again, more than I can really handle in a month, but we're going to try. I feel like I could. There's a couple matte shades that I can kind of use with the other shades in my Pan Those eyeshadows. Plus, there's all these beautiful shimmers that I can use in the way that I was talking about really enjoying eye looks recently, which is do like a super neutral outer work, like just browns on the outer, and then something incredibly bright and exciting on like the inner portion. And I think that I can do that with this palette, especially since it is browns and like a murky camel and like a mauvey brown than all of these. I really think that I can do some good work in this, but I'm excited to see the looks that I create with this. I really have only swatched this palette ever, so I'm excited to use this. But that is everything for my year-long project pan. I'm sure this video was a lot longer than I intended because I'm just long-winded. I haven't filmed in a while, so bear with me there. But I'm going to run. I'm going to go take Bandit on a WALK. If I say the word walk, he'll come whining in here. So I'm going to take him on a WALK, or a bork as we call them in this house, because he doesn't know. But I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go grocery shop and take him to his surgical follow-up for his 8-week post-op. Hopefully everything went well in his healing. Good vibes for that. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for bearing with me in my like little mini hiatus. I apologize about it. Things should be getting more on the smooth sailing realm now. Things have just settled down in my work life and my personal life, so that's exciting. But thank you guys so much for bearing with me through the ebbs and flows of this channel. But I will catch you in the next video, and until then, I hope you are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Mama, I love you. I love you.